Etsy SEO questions. I have a bunch, so let's try to work through these together and we will see how far we get. So around 11 weeks ago, I made a post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community where I asked you for some of your biggest SEO questions, and the hope was to compile them into one big video. So we're gonna try to work through a few of these now that we are all stuck in quarantine and we're going crazy and we need to learn on how to get our Etsy shops going right now, right? This is very important, especially since Etsy's finally beginning to pick up again. We want to get our shop prepared, that way as sellers return to the marketplace, we're actually able to make those sales. So question number one, how do you find the best keywords to put in title and in your tags for your products? Does product description matter for SEO apart from having the title as the first line of the product description? This is outdated information. Unfortunately, there was a lot of speculation a couple years ago that having your full title for your listing down in your actual description would help boost you in search. This is something that I personally taught around, I would say, I think it's been 4 or 5 years now, but information came out to kind of contradict this, and now we know that your description is not for Etsy SEO. Google SEO will pick up on it, but I wouldn't try to rank on Google because Etsy and Google are just completely different beasts. It's really hard to try to appeal to both, and if we're selling on Etsy, we want to make sure that we're catering our SEO to Etsy. So don't worry so much about your description for SEO. What I would recommend is making sure that your description is full of all of the information that a shopper should know before they make a purchase. And what I personally recommend is make a quick list of product details like the item size, the color, the material, and anything that they need to know into a small bulleted list that shows above everything else in your description. And I understand that we have some of these features already in our product attributes, but I also know that buyers tend to miss them. So it never hurts to repeat those in a just small little bulleted list right at the top of your description. And then the body of that description, I recommend going into more detail about your product itself. How did you create it? What inspired it? And any of the fun flair things that you want to really promote about the product and how it can be used for and who it's for, right? In terms of SEO though, the main areas that you want to focus on for your SEO are always your tags and your titles. I recommend using a tool like erank.com. I will throw in a link down below, and quick disclaimer, I am the head of PR and marketing of eRank as of February. However, I have been using eRank for almost 4 years now in my own Etsy shop. So I've been using them way longer than I've worked for them, and I still to this day feel that eRank is the #1 tool that all Etsy sellers should be using for their business. You can join that free down below with that link if you're not already an eRank user. So that's my suggestion. I hope that this helped. Let's move on to the next question. I know this is probably a dumb question. No such thing. But I don't completely understand how long-tail keywords work. If I put the same word in 2 different long-tail keywords, is that wasting a tag? Like if I were to put boho cactus lantern in the same listing that has the tag cactus lantern. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes, actually, you don't want to repeat those keywords over and over again. So if your keyword is boho cactus lantern, Etsy is reading that as boho cactus and cactus lantern and boho lantern. So you don't need to repeat that tag just by dropping the boho portion off of it, making boho cactus lanterns and cactus lantern as separate tags. It's not necessary. Another thing that you don't need to do is repeat the tags that you have in your attributes. So when you're filling out your attributes up at the top and you have the option to add a material or add a color or add a gemstone or add a type of fabric or add an occasion, those also count as tags, and you do not need to repeat them down in your tags section. So I hope that this helped. You don't need to waste tags by reusing the same words over and over again. Etsy is going to see those all as one tag, and you do not need to make any replications. All right, next question. One of my biggest struggles is figuring out how customers might search for items and what words they might use. I actually don't do a lot of online shopping myself, and when I do, I'm looking for something very specific, and I type that very specific thing into search. Plus, I'm usually searching somewhere that I know has that thing. So I feel that I can't really rely on my own shopping habits to help me at all. Etsy shoppers go through a very similar journey. They usually have a base idea of what they're looking for. So they might hop on Etsy and type in something like silver gemstone necklace, right? But as they start looking at products, what they tend to do is see something close to what they want, and they use that to revise their search. So maybe they started out with silver gemstone necklace and they saw a lot that they liked, but then they saw one in blue and they realized that it was blue that they wanted. They might not want that particular listing, but they want to explore more blue ones. So they type in silver blue gemstone necklace, and then they start seeing products closer to what they want. These are long tail keywords, keywords that point to a very specific type of product. So your shopping habits might not be as far off as you think. A lot of Etsy sellers are going to Etsy because they know that Etsy will have the type of product that they want. Your best bet is to use a tool like erank.com. Make sure that you're using the keyword tool or the keyword explorer if you're a pro member, and start looking at the number of searches that these different keywords are actually receiving on Etsy. Don't try to guess them, because most of the time you will be wrong about your guesses. Check erank.com and get an actual list of keywords that real Etsy shoppers are searching for, and that will give you some direction as to what types of products they're shopping for as well. All right, next question. I get frustrated when I find what seems like a really good keyword with good search volume and reasonable competition, but yet don't get views. So this is one of those things where it might not be your SEO that's the problem. It could be something like your thumbnail itself that really isn't measuring up to the competitors who are also showing on that search page. SEO is not the bottom line. You could have a fantastic product and you could have great pricing and you could have that product on page 1, position 1 of an Etsy search and still not make sales just because of something as simple as your thumbnail. So you want to make sure that regardless of whether or not your SEO is good, you're still buckling down on the other things. Don't assume that good enough is good enough, because there is always going to be a competitor who's doing things a little bit better than you are. Those are the people that you are up against, and you want to make sure that your product measures up. Now, if you're still not seeing views and you know that your product photos are good and you don't see a problem with your pricing and you found a good keyword, it might be time to start using a more advanced tool. I personally recommend the change tracker within eRank. This is a pro specific feature, but it will allow you to track a listing after you make SEO changes to it. That way you can see how edits to your tags and titles affect your overall views, your overall favorites, and your overall sales after making those changes. Then, if you added a keyword to your listing that ends up actually hurting your views, favorites, and sales, you know exactly when you made the change and what the change was, so that you can revert your listing back to the original title and tags that you had used before you made the change. So that would be my ultimate suggestion, and never assume that it's just SEO. All right, alphas, that's all the questions that we have time for today. However, if you have your own SEO or Etsy related questions, feel free to grab any of my ebooks down below. All of those are free, and right when you receive them and you get that email from me with your freebie, you can reply to that email with your own question, and we will try to feature that in a later video for you. Thanks, alphas. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up to help me out as well. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. Have a great day, guys. Bye.